After knowing direct numbers and understanding the number 9, now it comes to some calculations of direct number. To start with, let's go to addition and subtraction. Before we start, so you have to remember 4 rules about direct number. They are plus plus will give you plus, plus minus will give you, minus give you minus, minus plus will give you minus, and the last one is the harder one, is called minus minus will give you a plus. So what does that mean? And then now we come to some example. So first of all, when we consider the first case, we have plus and plus. For example, a plus a positive number. For example, like you have 3 plus positive 7. And you should see that you have 2 addition sign over there. According to the rules number 1, so if they become a plus, that means your calculation becomes 3 plus 7 and it's a 10. This is the meaning of plus and plus. So how about let's start with a very quick question now. How about is 7 plus positive 5? Can you answer it in 3 seconds? Well done, it will be 12. Next, we come to the second rule about plus and minus. For example, we have a plus negative b. According to the rule, you have now plus and minus. So that's why it will be equal to a minus b, according to rule number 2. Let's take a look on 2 examples. Number 1, how about is 3 plus negative 7? According to the rules, plus and minus, they becomes a minus. So that's why it's equal to 3 minus 7 and is equal to negative 4. Next, let's have a 3 seconds challenge. How about this one? 7 plus negative 5. 3, 2, 1. It will be equal to 7 minus 5, which is equal to 2. This is rule number 2. Next, let's come to rule number 3, which is called minus plus. And it will be like a minus positive b. According to rule number 3, it tells you it's equal to a minus b. For example, if we have a question called 3 minus positive 7, it will be equal to 3 minus 7 because minus and plus, they turn to a minus. As a result, it's negative 4. Next, let's have a very simple question like 7 minus positive 5. It turns to 7 minus 5, that means it's equal to 2. It's quite easy, right? Now we come to the last challenge, which is very complicated or difficult. Negative, negative. In rule number 4, it tells you when we have a minus negative b, it turns to a plus b. So this is the meaning of 2 negative sign will turn to a positive. For example, when we have a question called 3 minus negative 7 is equal to 3 plus 10. It should be 3 plus 7. So I accidentally write down the answer for you. It's equal to 10. If you understand the principle, how about 7 minus negative 5? Can you get the answer in 3 seconds? 3, 2, 1. Nice. It's equal to 7 plus 5, which gives you a 12 finally. Finally, we come to multiplication and division of direct numbers. So there are some words you have to know before we go. When we talk about multiplication, we always use the symbol, which is called times or sometimes called multiply to. Whereas when you have division, we always use the word called divided by, and sometimes we'll use over. Of course, don't forget your best friend, which is called equal to. Now we come to the rules once again. So let's remember there are 4 rules. They are called plus plus, will give you a plus. Plus minus will give you a minus. Minus plus will give you a minus. And finally, minus minus give you a plus. So these rules were applied in multiplication and division once again. So let's start. The simplest one, of course, is the first one. You have plus 7 multiplied to plus 2. When you have positive and positive, according to rule number 1, is also positive. So that's why the outcome or the answer should be plus 14, or simply you can just write 14 would be okay. But that means you can also just write 14. Second one, when we have plus 7 multiplied to negative 2, because now you have plus and minus multiplied together. So that's why the outcome should be negative, according to, again, rule number 2, which gives you negative 14, because you multiply 7 and 2. Next, similarly, when you have negative 7 multiplied to plus 2, you have the symbol minus and plus here, so that's why the result should be negative. Then you multiply 7 and 2, which gives you the outcome of 14. The last one may be the most difficult one. When you have negative 7 multiplied to negative 2, normally we will have brackets to separate the symbols. And first, because of negative negative, so it gives you a positive. Next, you multiply 7 and 2, which gives you a 14. This is basically the rules of multiplication. Let's have a very quick test to see whether you can measure rules, in particular the last one. 5 questions, 10 seconds. Ready? Let's start. Well, how about positive 5 multiply negative 4, plus 15 multiply negative 2, negative 5 multiply positive 6, negative 20 multiply positive 5. I want to give you a few more questions. How about negative 5 multiply negative 8, negative 4 multiply negative 7, negative 5 again multiply negative 10, and lastly negative 6 multiply negative 8. So would you please count yourself 20 seconds and see whether you can complete all the 8 questions. Time flies, and now we come to the result. So do remember to check for the symbol, because it's plus, also it's not clear, plus and minus, minus plus, minus plus. So the first 4 questions will give you negative results. So that's why I write down negative, 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 and also negative. Next, your job will be just simply multiply the number 5 and 4, which is 20. So that's why the answer is minus 20. 15 and 2, 30. So that's why it's negative 30. 5 and 6, 30. 20 and 5, 100. And then so the last 2 answers will be negative 30 and negative 100 respectively. Next, the harder one comes when you go to the last 4 questions, because it's minus, 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 minus. So that's why, so all of them give you a positive number. Next, you have this one equal to, you multiply 5 and 8, give you 40. The plus sign can be omitted, and you can just write down 40 is okay. 4 and 7, so it's your 28. 5 and 10 equal to 50. 8 and 6 equal to 48. So these are the answers for these 8 questions. Can you get all of them correct? No, it doesn't matter. So you go home and try some more practices, and you should be doing for a while later in this part. After multiplications, then we come to division. Basically, the rules are the same. So for example, like when you have positive 8 divided by negative 2, you check for the sign, positive, negative, so that's why it should be negative. And then next, 8 over 2, or 8 divided by 2, gives you a 4, so that's why you have negative 4. Similarly, if you have negative 3 divided by like positive 27, you have now negative, positive, so that's why you have negative here. Next, you divide 3 and 7, 3 over 27, give you 1 over 9, so that's why you write as negative 1 over 9. Another way to do, particularly in senior form, so we always put the negative sign on top, so that means we write as negative 1 over 9, so it's also okay. So what I mean is, for example, like you have a negative 15 divided by positive like 18. First of all, you check for the sign. So it's equal to negative over positive. So that's why you have a negative number first. Next, you cancel 15 and 18. You get 5 over 6. So that's why the answer is negative 5 over 6. And now you can see I put the negative sign on top. Finally, so how about negative negative? If you have negative 18 divided by negative 6, first of all, you check for the sign is negative and negative, which gives you a positive. Next, you check for 18 over 6, which is 3, and that's why we write 3. If you turn it upside down, that means you have negative 6 over negative 18. We do the same thing. Negative negative turns to positive, whereas 6 over 18, you can see it will be 1 over 3. Here comes the result. Not pretty difficult, right? So before we come to the last page, then I would like to show you the short form. You will find that sometimes if you write minus 3, negative 3 multiplied negative 7 is very troublesome. So because you have to note that you can't put the two symbols or two signs together, you always need to have a bracket. The first one can be omitted. So that's why people start thinking of a short form, and then we will write as negative 3 brackets, negative 7 brackets. You will see that there is nothing between that, but it means multiplication. That means this one means negative 3 multiplied to negative 7. So this is a short form we will be start using in secondary school. So if you understand the idea, how about you try these two questions? Can you tell me what is negative 1, negative 2, negative 2, negative 4, or simply negative 3, negative 4 once again? You will see that there is no sign between the brackets. That means they are multiplied. And what you're going to do will be negative negative turns to positive, and 1 and 2 multiplied together is a 2. Negative negative give you a positive, 2 and 4 give you a 8. Negative negative give you a positive, 3 and 4 give you a 12, and that's all. Lastly, we come to some harder questions. Don't cry, be confident, and you can do it. Firstly, we have fraction and fraction. In particular, you can see it's about direct number. And this negative sign, we have to do it very carefully. Besides turning 1 over 3 into 3 over 9, like in primary school, so we have to be careful about the negative sign should be put on top so that we can have a proper and correct calculation. Because the next line we will be combining the fraction, and be careful that it should be negative 3 plus 1. So I repeat, the negative sign in front of the fraction normally will put on top in the numerator so that we can do the calculation carefully. After that, then the things will be very similar. And do you remember the skills I've taught you about negative 3 plus 1? Yes, very good. It's equal to negative 2. So that's why we have a 9 here. Similarly, we have one more demonstration. What if we have negative, so it should be negative 1 over 4 minus 1 over 12. Then you should be careful that 1 over 4, it turns to 3 over 12 is correct. Minus 1 over 12 is also correct. But be careful that the negative sign in the front will move it on top. Next line, it will turn to negative 3 minus 1 because there is a minus sign between the fraction. So that's why we have minus 1 in the denominator now, divided by 12. After cancellation or calculation, we have negative 4 on top, divided by 12. Next, be careful, it's minus and plus here, right? So that's why it turns to a negative number. Besides, 4 and 12, they cancel out, so you have 1 over 3. So this is the outcome, 1 over 3 here. Next, another kind of harder questions comes when you have continuous negative or direct numbers. So for example, now you have 3 negative numbers multiplied together. So you follow the rules. Negative negative give you positive, positive negative give you negative, so that's why the result is negative. Next, you multiply the number 1, 2, 3, so it's equal to 6, not a 5, be careful. And then similarly, what if we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4? So this one will do it very trickily because negative negative becomes positive, negative negative becomes positive, and positive positive becomes positive. So that's why the answer is positive. Next, you multiply the number. 1 and 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 4 is 4, sorry, not 4, 24. So that's why the outcome is 24. Oh, so it's a little bit quick. It's your turn. How about it's plus 1 minus negative 2, multiply plus 3, multiply negative 4. Will you try out and see what the answer is? Yes, you can do it in this way. Plus and minus give you negative, plus and minus give you negative, negative negative give you positive. So that's why the answer is positive. Then we have tried to multiply 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, so it's also equal to 24. So this is a little rule when you are doing continuous direct number in multiplication. A similar approach or similar idea can be applied when you are doing division. For example, if you have a like plus 1 multiply negative 2 plus 3 divided by negative 4, then let's see what's happening. Plus and minus give you a negative, plus and minus give you negative, but negative negative give you positive. So that's why at last it comes to a positive number. That means you have 1 times 2 divided by 3 times 4 is 2 over 12, which gives you 1 over 6. This is the way when we are doing mixed operation. That means we have multiplication and division together. Last challenge. How about if we have negative 1 plus 4 divided by negative 2 and negative 3. So a bit complicated, right? So let's try together. Negative positive give you negative, negative negative give you positive, and all together give you give you negative. So that's why we first put the negative sign in the denominator. We always put the negative sign in on top of the fraction. Then next multiply together. 1 and 4 give you a 4, 2 and 3 give you a 6. So at last, after doing the multiplication, we start cancelling the numbers. Cancel 4 and 6 and give you a very simple answer called negative 2 and 3.